3, 2, 1.
Holy fucking shit, fucking dinosaurs.
Holy
Jesus
Are we doing this again?
No.
How does it go?
So, we just watched
all went to
Jurassic
see
World.
San Andreas?
San Andreas.
It has
Did you
its-
walk into the wrong movie
it has
because they
its
started
faults.
playing it?
CJ didn't catch the train, so everything.
Oh, sorry,
exploded.
everyone. Go again. I'm not sure if everyone can.
Did you guys not see San Andreas?
No.
It has its faults. Jurassic Park.
Here is $5. That was amazing. Well, pun that good. Yeah. So we all saw Jurassic World.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just a word. Everyone a word to describe it.
Aliens.
Acceptable, Willie.
Shagahod.
Shagahod. Very good.
Surprising.
Surprising. I'm gonna go say with Pratt Sweat.
That's Is that
That's
that.
made.
No, it's hyphenated.
There's a
It's
hyphen
fine.
in there. There's a
Yeah,
hyphen
there's like
in there.
Pratt Sweat. I have the Pratt Sweats.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I
that
can't blame
I think
you,
Liam's probably the most right. Yeah, I was very surprised. It's really good.
I was surprised.
Were you
Yeah.
surprised by the quality of the child acting?
I was surprised that because those kids are in that movie a lot. Like,
Yeah.
They're not in
And
it.
kids are usually a red flag.
They're not in it as
from
much
seven.
as the brother and sister from Jurassic Park.
Not
1.
nearly, and there's no embarrassing gymnastics movement.
No,
There's no
gymnastics.
no embarrassing
You were
gymnastics.
cut from the team.
Yeah.
I was still really annoyed a lot of the time, but like that's just because I have a fucking.
So here's the thing. I'm the
I
same way
felt
as
good
you, Wooly.
because the fact that the kids were there let them shoehorn Mr. DNA in at the beginning.
Yeah.
But
so
to-
that was worth it.
No, but like to be fair, there could have not been kids in it. Let's say, but they
Yeah.
still would have had the shots of the kids going nuts. Mr. DNA would have always
Yeah,
been there
of course,
that is one of those. The movie has its unsubtle references to the first one, but if that was the only one in there, Mr. DNA just
You
yucking
wouldn't
it up,
catch it,
just
yeah.
getting hype, like that's awesome.
Honestly,
But they
This is
kinda-
a spoiler-filled review, by the way. There's no reason to click on
No,
this.
wait, no.
unless
we're not-
you've seen the movie.
What?
I don't
right?
think Mr.
What?
DNA being in
No,
it
that's
is
not a
much.
spoiler.
No, but I'm saying if you're
I
watching
wasn't
this,
planning
I
on
think
This
if
is on
you're
Sunday.
if
I
you're
think
watching
we'll-
this, it's because you've already seen it.
I think we'll hit a point where we call spoilers. but
Yeah,
by the time
not
this-
yet.
If we think
Let's
we're going
keep
to
it
talk
general.
about,
Wow. Okay.
I don't know.
I just feel like I'd never even click on that thing if I didn't see it yet.
Well, that's fine.
Well,
but-
I don't
because
know.
like
You shout spoilers all the time, so
the reason why the kids didn't bother me so much is because you need a character or two characters in every single one of these movies that does dumb shit.
Yeah.
That does dumb
And
shit
when
that
the-
endangers themselves.
When the whole concept is the park is actually open, it makes sense to
Right.
have a kid in
and,
it.
and the
Yeah.
second thing is that like one of the kids kind of hates that his kid brother's like a dumb shit.
No.
And that took some of the sting off.
One of the kids hates that his brother still loves things that aren't
Cheating on his
girls.
girlfriend.
Yeah.
And cheating on his
So-
and all he
girlfriend.
likes is looking at other girls.
Was I the only one that was crazy enough to think you literally just hugged your girlfriend?
She gets
and
a sick burn in that opening scene.
She does.
But
She
he's
does.
a teenage shit. If every stupid teenager's like that,
But
you know.
but it wasn't like he was like, whatever, babe, I'm going to look at dinosaurs. It was like, oh, I'm going to miss you
I'm gonna
so
look at
much,
selfies
babe.
of you.
Look at
Yeah,
selfies.
yeah.
But then
not a jock kid,
every
he's emo
exotic Costa Rican girl that walked by, and he walks into a T-Rex.
What's
Yeah.
a dinosaur?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was.
So, I was
just gonna say is that I think I don't even talk about this on video, but I told Pat how one of the scenes from this movie that made a director or a writer go, that's interesting, is kids go to Jurassic World and they're bored and they're looking on their phones.
As
I don't
shit goes
know.
down.
Because dinosaurs have become the norm over
Right.
the, what, 20-year
And,
gap?
yeah.
Yes, and that's what I was waiting for. Was like, I'm like, they're sending them off on this planet, and I'm like, you guys are the worst parents ever. Please, movie, justify why this would be at all anyway a decent idea.
Because
Justify
Ant
it.
is controlling it.
Yeah, well, it's like one. It's been 20 years, and everything's
Family.
been super safe.
Gotta get
Everyone's
family.
way bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then we've got like fucking chips in their heads to go like calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all have like shock collars in their brains.
Yeah,
so
like
you
that
don't go
shit.
past the perimeter
But the
fence.
problem, I say, when we were walking out, I was just saying it shouldn't be a shock collar. It should be
a bomb.
every two.
Yeah.
I was saying every 2
bomb?
weeks you press the button that says we're not gonna kill you.
Yeah.
And that's how you decide to go. Yeah,
that's
keep
true.
it going.
An expiry thing,
And
right?
exactly.
It's like, okay, let's say the park shits itself and it's a huge disaster and everyone
Oh,
has to leave.
let's say.
In 2 weeks, the problem will solve itself.
Yeah.
Just don't press the reverse dead man switch And that, of course, was the one thing that I was missing in the movies.
Yeah.
Every dino head exploding in a chorus over the credits, you know?
And it would be great.
That was what you needed.
That's what I need.
It'd be great, be a loving Triceratops hand feeding its baby.
Like the herbivores, too.
Okay, I love when that baby Triceratops ate shit because the thing picked it up and just slammed it on the floor.
I felt a little bad, but
Me
he also
too.
kind of laughed.
So with that entire... Sorry.
I was just going to say, because Matt, you said before, like, the thing about this one is the park is open.
And has been for a
Like,
while.
yeah, it has been
I
for
remember
years.
as a kid, in the first one, I went, "Oh, it sucks! It never opened."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually like that.
So
part
this
of it.
park, Jurassic World, it's open and there's 21,000 some odd guests,
exactly,
and it
it's
feels
20K.
like it's populated with that
Yeah.
much.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that struck me so much was it really felt like a real park.
It
down
did.
to the like Samsung Dome and
You know what it
the
felt like?
there was a Margaritaville and a
Yeah.
Starbucks,
It felt
and
just
they were
like
talking.
Universal Studios.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they were talking about a
Makes sense.
sponsorship deal for a dinosaur, and I know that's all like scummy stuff, but it made it feel credible.
yeah.
Why don't you just have the fucking Verizon-saurus?
The Taco Bell.
No, the Dorito Don.
Yeah,
I love that
yeah.
part.
And like the main strip with its little
Main
shape.
Street USA.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
really just felt like a real place.
There's
really cool.
There's
what's this?
Right there.
Thanks,
there you
Will.
go.
Thanks,
There was a
sweetie.
moment in the main hall in the beginning where like she spins a DNA thing on a screen.
Yeah.
And I was like, thanks for not making that a dumb hologram and just making it a touchscreen.
But wait,
sure.
here comes
And
a dumb
then
hologram.
2 seconds later,
Dino hologram.
Yeah.
The thing that you were talking about it being a real park is also the Lost World and Jurassic Park 3 were again, let's clean up and
mess.
rescue
Yeah.
mission.
Yeah.
So I knew that like in the trailers we all saw the park is open and all that, and I was kind of like yeah Jurassic Park 3. But when you actually started watching, I'm like they actually did it.
They showed you an open
Somehow.
park.
Someone convinced someone, and the government
everything's
let this
super
happen
fine.
again.
Everything's totally
well, and again,
fine.
they were open for years and years and years before the
yeah.
events of the movie. They said so. Like, yeah.
When we're walking out, that's what I was saying to Willie and Pat is that like I really actually like the whole thing of attendance is fine. Everything's
it's kinda
fine,
dipping and, yeah.
but people get hyped when we make up bullshit, and let's make up the biggest bullshit
Yeah.
ever, and that be the main point of the movie
Yeah.
because it really was.
Which, as you know, we pointed out, there's so much that we get out immediately walking out of the theater that we just have to just recap. But it's like, yeah, if you didn't have a shitty part 3 to contend with, the
movie
made-up
would be much
dinosaur
better.
would have been way more impressive. But you already had a shittier version of that you saw last time around.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it was like at least this one made sense because the third one had the Spinosaurus, which no one ever talked about before.
Yeah.
And it just appears on Site B or something. So this one where it's like, we made this bullshit Rex, and it's bigger, it's stronger, it's whatever, it's cooler.
And
Yeah.
we can't tell you what's in it.
We can't-
Even the guy who paid to make it happen
Won't tell you.
Yeah.
What's in this dino soup? Shit. You don't worry about it. Oh,
Put some
okay.
Cthulhu in it.
Yeah.
I didn't tell you to put Cthulhu in this dinosaur.
You didn't tell us not to.
No, like,
I really love how the scientist, concerning all the other dinosaurs, how he contends with the problem of him making a new dinosaur by saying, but all these other fucking dinosaurs
Yeah.
This is
are
all
real.
bullshit.
Yeah,
These
yeah.
look like
Oh,
what we
now we've gone
want
too
dinosaurs
far.
to look. You know, like
evil McKillable face.
Yeah.
There are two moments
Boy,
in this movie that are like straight up fuck yous to feathers. One is the
Yeah.
opening shot, and one is that discussion where he basically says all
didn't want
these
real.
fucking things should have feathers, but you didn't think that looked cool.
I think the
so
line
we have
was,
dinosaurs.
we don't have a pure bloodline. They wouldn't even look like they have in
Yeah.
the park right now.
Yeah.
Which is pretty fun. Also, I guess the main antagonist is one Vincent D'Onofrio, and he's the guy that kind of plays the type of dude you've seen before, the
InGen
military
guy.
Right,
tracker.
it's the
dude.
guy who's in the control room who's got his hands like this on his hips, and the camera zooms in up on him when it's people are dying, and you're waiting for him to crack a smile.
He's like, I think I'm
almost.
getting an erection.
You know?
I think,
yeah.
Having us all finish Daredevil, though, I was really expecting him to take a raptor and put it in a car door and go, I'm disappointed with you. And that would be great. Raptors I guess they're like almost like the secondary main character. They were fucking in
They
there.
have names.
Yeah.
They have names.
But at least this time they weren't having fucking Avatar-like communication with the people in the sense that it was like, give us our baby back and all that weird shit from part 3. Where it's like, you're going too far. You're going too far. One of the raptors in the back is like straightening his glasses and getting the shine across them. Like, fuck off.
Chris Pratt's relationship with the raptors was like really believable because it felt like a fucking wild animal tamer relationship, and like, you know, not gonna get into spoiler territory, but like it wasn't unquakeable, the relationship.
Right.
It felt really
has
good.
some bumps, has some dips.
Yeah, now
exactly.
Speaking of dips, the fucking you see it in the trailer shot a moment where the pterodactyls and all the flyers are going nuts.
Yeah,
and it's like,
no, do you want to just, before you forget about it, you want to talk about your favorite shot?
That's what I was gonna say.
Okay,
it's like, well, you have them all going nuts and everything, but then later, right, as you pointed out, like you see that street and it's just like, oh, there's no bodies anywhere. Everything's fine.
They've done a really good job in most of the movie of killing people behind shit and having like minor blood sprays, and it actually worked
including a sick ass blood spray through volumetric light of a plant.
When the Dominus Rex starts doing some stuff and he starts attacking some people, there's this really great shot where he lifts a guy up and the camera's going up and you see blood splatter hit the camera, drip down. I was like,
most of that was really good, except for post-disaster park, in which there are no dead bodies anywhere.
Everything's been cleaned up.
All those people survived.
Yeah,
especially her. If it's been like a day, then maybe they cleaned up, but it was like maybe 2 hours.
There's that one supporting character that gets it way harder than anyone in the movie for no reason.
She doesn't even really deserve it.
Doesn't need it.
She gets it harder than anything in the movie. Like, not even...
I'm thinking about the other JP movies. I think it's the franchise.
I'm
trying to think.
The guy who gets split between the two in Lost World. There's some.
But when you compare it to how much she deserved it, like how much of a shit she was, which is like
way down
zero.
low.
She was a good person.
But
that being said, the movie does have one big flaw: is that when a character walks into the shot in frame 1, you're like, they're gonna live or they're gonna die, and you can see it right away.
You can see it on their face.
Well, like some people that I assumed a certain scientist might have died,
maybe or may not. But you see that one shot where like the doors swing open and everyone goes running out.
I thought it was gonna be Street Fighter mutants coming through.
So whatever, they after like they put the raptor and Sister Abigail and fucking and take care of it, kiss it goodnight.
Yeah,
you get like the nighttime shit that starts happening.
Yeah, and that's where the shot where you see it on the posters, you see it all the time in the trailers and stuff. It's Chris Pratt riding on a motorcycle, and up until this point, people are like, you gotta use the raptors, you gotta use your special...
Raptors are badasses, dude.
They're super cool, and
it's the worst idea ever.
This is the worst idea ever. Cut to him on the motorcycle.
This is the greatest idea.
He's literally looking around and looking at, are there any girls watching this? Because this shit's hype. Like,
they clearly told him, too, like, most of that movie is like, dude, you need resting bitch face as much as possible, because... staring at the raptor face. A lot of that.
A lot of quiet disapproval of how everything is run. Including a hissy fit in the control room early in the movie.
It seems like he's not really aware of what is being done. And he's like, wait, so you have a giant thing you made and you have it stuck in this little container?
He only knows about the raptors.
But it's like, are you the guy...
to know.
Are you the guy in the bungalow off the cliffside next to the Diplodocus? Like,
that's where cool guys live.
What the fuck, you know?
With Raptors, the new one...
in the pen.
With Raptors and the new hybrid T-Rex thing that they have going on, I think there was like a big concern I think you can tell, it's like, we need a variety of dinosaurs, especially ones we didn't have before in all the other movies, like gigantic water demon and things like that.
And not just pterodactyls, but other like flying types.
There's some pterodactyls in there that
have T-Rex
weird
faces.
Yeah, they felt like very Skull Island King Kong-ish.
They must have been playing Bloodborne.
It might be real.
Hey, and again, the science says we bullshitted it for cool stuff, so...
Yeah.
You know what? That's one of the best... The fact that you said
inaccuracy?
That's one of the best excuses ever. Because they never really said that in the other movies.
Yeah, Brontosauruses didn't exist, but the Brachiosaurus, hey, we can get that happening with other shit. It's like, these didn't happen in the same, for bullshitting it. Science.
They did say in the original ones, like, and this
maybe
is the part,
they didn't know any better.
Maybe they should have stopped to think whether they should, rather than if they could.
I appreciate hiring Jimmy Fallon just to sandbag him.
What did you think of that? What did you think of that?
I thought it was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. It's really credible. It felt
they get him in there, and the kids are like, what the fuck ever.
Yeah,
like,
no, that's the time where the kids are on their phone.
Jimmy Fallon's role, I felt, was like really real, because it's like, you're at a theme park, they have the guy doing the thing.
And they say at the start of the movie, when they're running down the list of features of the park house, we have celebrities coming
Celebrity visits,
So that makes sense, but it almost didn't take me out of the movie, because then I reminded myself about that, but I was just like, could you not have Jeff
Should have been Conan.
Should have been Conan, but you can say that about a lot of stuff.
Or like there's that giant homage to the old one that happens, and it's just like, how hard are they going to homage the old ones? Are you going to have Jeff Goldblum show up old and rickety,
and he's got one arm tied behind his back,
and he's
Oro. And he's like, you guys found the dinosaur park. I feel like the third one, which was made up bullshit, it was based on nothing.
It's based on Dino Crisis 2.
But it had Alan Grant in it, right? Yeah. Because they needed somebody. Would you have guys felt like they could have had like a cameo of someone from the old one, or didn't need it?
Don't
it would be too much.
No, because everyone who would lived through those movies would show up and immediately go, "Shut up, stop."
They mentioned Hammond so often,
and they had his name on the
you're like, you don't need to go that heavy
and
on
I
it.
do like how they reference the park, like, oh yeah, that worked out well last time.
Motherfucker with the T-shirt, man.
Yeah, I like that. Do you like that computer guy?
He's fine. It was the Charlie Day that's not Charlie Day.
Yeah, not as over the top, but I like that he was like the one guy that they had that actually loved dinosaurs.
Yeah,
all the stupid toys was like a little too much, but the fact that he's just like
he really cared.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, dinosaurs.
Everyone else is just like punching in numbers.
You gotta have
I love the guy who just works there. I just work here.
The real hero.
When he has to call that the ride's stopping. Why?
Because you were getting hype about that.
Because you missed the first time he said, like, I enjoy the trip. And then it cuts back to him a second, like, enjoy the trip.
I was getting hype about it because I was trying to figure out some kind of, I failed the third grade and now I run the dinosaur ride. And I was never able to quite make it go before that scene passed.
That's right. I really wish his boss had a long Greek name. He could have said Mr. Strophanopoulos and kill me.
Yo, let's talk about Chris Pratt in this movie.
Do we need to talk about the pristine Adonis?
A little bit, because the movie fetishizes Chris Pratt to a near absurd degree.
To be fair,
is that a problem?
How many characters actually point at the camera and go, that guy's cool?
I counted 4 times in which either a human being or the camera said it implicitly, either swinging directly at him and giving a cool guy pose, or people actually pointing at him and going, yo, you're a badass, Chris Pratt.
To the point that children start sandbagging their own families because they want to point at Chris Pratt's ass.
A fucking dying dinosaur is like, nah, you're cool, bro.
The dinosaur is dying.
Grandpa.
He's like, oh god, this sucks. And he turns his head and sees Chris Pratt and he's like, no, it's okay. I'm gonna go to Dino Heaven, fine.
And like he's
Pratt World.
He's halfway to Indiana Jones. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have the hat, but he does look kind of like some of the older characters.
And he rolled under the closing door.
And then I pointed it out at the end, and there's the scene near the end where everyone's like, oh, whatever. And everyone's all fucked up and bloody and dirty, and their clothes are messed up, and they're like, whatever. And it's like, oh, it was a rough day, whatever. And you turn to Chris Pratt, and he's fine. His clothes aren't dirty. He's not sweaty.
Chris Pratt is fucking action man in this movie.
It's absurd.
But Chris Pratt installed like clean mod on Skyrim, and everyone else dirty faces.
His opening intro to the movie is literally from a god ray behind his head. As the camera pans up to him.
And his outro of the movie is a god ray behind him.
It's also a god ray.
To be fair, and me myself,
and I don't hate
before his intro scene, I was literally going to turn to one of you guys and go, when are they going to get to the Chris Pratt factory?
So basically, if Chris Pratt or a dinosaur is on the screen, it's being a good movie.
Yeah.
If both of them are on the screen, it's being a really good movie. If neither of them are on the screen, it's okay.
Yeah. The other thing that when it's on the screen usually, and I just kind of felt nothing, was Bryce Dallas Howard, or as I like to call her, Shitty Gwen from Spider-Man 3, as the business lady who...
She loves business.
They try really hard to go, look, she changed, but like I said, people literally sandbag her and go, no, you're still not interesting. Look at this guy. And it was just kind of...
She's fine.
She's ostensibly the main character.
And then of course
she plays John Hammond. It's John Hammond in the first one gets his nieces and whatever nephews and niece and nephews to show up, and this is her niece and nephew showing up, but she's just not interesting.
One thing that kind of didn't need to be there.
I forgot.
One thing that didn't need to be there was the Death Star construction shot that you get towards the end, where you're like, okay, we know.
Yeah.
You don't have to tease that hard. It's fun.
They tease really hard.
Where are we going to go after this one? Where are we going to be? It's like, well, we've had Jurassic Park. We've had Jurassic Park 2, The Lost Levels, right?
Yeah.
So then we have Jurassic World. You got to go for Jurassic Galaxy. That's the only place left to go.
See, they fucked up, and they...
Just a dinosaur, like...
They fucked up 20 years ago, and it should have been Jurassic Asylum, and then they could have Jurassic City.
Yeah.
They could have Jurassic
Park
World.
Origins.
They can still do Origins and Blackgate.
Or Jurassic Night. There you go, Jurassic Night.
There's been a lot of...
the mask on. I wonder what it is.
One of the main kind of complaints is people like, man, the CG doesn't look super great compared to the first one. And honestly, when I watched it, I was kind of be like, I'm prepared to be underwhelmed. And I wasn't underwhelmed, but I thought it looked good overall. I
thought it was really good.
But here's my problem is that the real test of your CG is the shot that has to be in every JP movie, which is the running alongside the Stampede, right?
Yeah.
And here it looked better than it has, but it still was like. And after seeing Mad Max, where you're like everything's practical,
but
even the
exist.
shit that I said that was like the one dumb CG moment in Mad Max, I found out was practical after the fact. The fucking up in your face in the camera moment.
That's
all that CG shit that comes at you towards the end.
There's a moment in Mad Max where everything's coming at you, and you're like, "Oh, look at this CG bullshit." It was actually practical.
Yeah, they shot it on camera somehow.
I'm like, man, that proves so much shit. But you know,
dinosaurs aren't real, Wooly.
Yeah, that's the thing that I remind myself. I'm like, I'm going to be prepared to be underwhelmed. Now,
but if you're not seeing the whole body, if you're seeing a part of the body, just make it.
Let's if we're going to see any movie that I don't know has. If we wanted to get to the genesis of a movie and we watch a movie that's like that and has tons of car chases and explosions, that's where you stack it up against Mad Max trying to beat around the bush.
No, you're right. Yeah, sure.
I thought the dinosaurs looked fantastic, honestly.
No, I thought so. They looked good, but I think it's just people going, man, when Jurassic Park came out, the CG blew me away because it was the first thing that happened.
That's the nature of doing any sort of CG in a light shot, is that, like, it's easy to see the details, you know. In movies like Pacific Rim, where it was also legendary, they got to cheat a lot because it was dark, and like they got to hide shit under the water.
It just so happens to be like a lot of people, like us and anyone who's been seeing movies for a bunch of years. You've gotten really, really good at seeing CG. You've gotten really, really, really good at recognizing that dinosaur's not real.
Well, it's like the clipping in Frozen.
Yeah.
You fucking never notice it, and then you look back and you're like, oh, there's a bunch of clipping in Frozen. It doesn't really matter. I don't think so.
The T-Rex in JP1 was 1 terabyte of data.
Yeah, no,
at the time.
All the richest kings of England put all their computers together to get that done.
To get half a texture.
But in this, it was like one guy on his iMac, like
on his iPad.
On that note, shout outs to what I'm gonna just refer to as like Marvel versus Capcom action.
Yeah,
maximum.
Towards the end, and then just people doing OTGs, getting their fucking
assists.
So, before we walked into the movie, Wooly hadn't gotten there yet, and I looked at Matt and I said, "I've been hearing people saying that a lot of stuff in this movie's dumb." Like action dumb.
No.
Like action movie dumb.
I don't think there was before you can. I just don't think there was anything that was dumb compared to like Lost World, which has the dumbest moment ever.
But I was like, okay, because we already see the shot in the trailer of the motorcycles with the raptors, and that's a pretty dumb tone. Mm-hmm. And so I said, you know what? I want him to go all the way. I want Chris Pratt to ride a dinosaur and be swinging a mace around his head. And
you want Dino Wars?
And, I want Golden Axe.
Yeah,
Dino Wars.
I want Golden Axe, and we got pretty close.
Yeah, there was almost a fastball special.
We got pretty close.
Choi and Chang.
And I was really happy, and it was classier in that way than the version I had created in my head.
Oh, without a doubt.
It was. And you kind of said it before, Willie, but like overall I think we all thought it was pretty good, but it would have been maybe fantastic if Jurassic Park 3 didn't exist and already kind of retread some of this, or not retread, but
Gigantosaurus or whatever the fuck that thing was.
Spino, whatever.
Yeah.
And
what did you think of like new park owner man?
Great.
I liked him, and it made sense because rich Indian Hindu billionaire. It was like, yeah, why wouldn't he pick that up and go, I can do this?
I feel like it's level 2 of, so I bought the airline.
So I bought the airline.
Let them fight. Like it absolutely was that.
And I think his character is best summed up by like, he's super, super rich, and he's kind of I love dinosaurs are cool.
He's just a free spirit billionaire.
What about the money though? Whatever. Dinosaurs
no fucking expense.
Yeah. But when it starts to clearly maybe be a bad idea, he's getting a little bit, maybe it is a bad idea.
People could die?
Yeah, and again, I'm not allowed to know what's in the juice
that I
of
told
this
you
thing.
to do.
Now, Takeshi, I know I told you to attack me on nights when I least expect it, but tonight I'm having a rough night, and I know that I told you that if I ever said that, to especially attack me.
But please,
tonight is
just
not
this one
time.
I think there was one moment that really sticks out. We haven't talked to you about it yet, Liam, but it was just bad guy is going through cliche thing about
that
the future.
Bad guy's evil as shit.
Yeah. But he goes through cliche speech about, look, you don't see the big picture, and in mid-sentence, dinosaur
combo breaker.
And then he's just like, oh god.
And he's like counter breaker?
Yeah, no.
Counter. That of all of, and this is part of its new tone as an action blockbuster, like other than pseudo horror like Jurassic Park 1 has.
Yeah, pseudo horror.
This has the best sequences of I didn't expect there to be a dinosaur, and now there's a dinosaur here.
Well, what you said was there are so many punchlines that
and all the punchlines in this are murder.
that end in murder. Way to beat. And death is the cut.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it really sucks that lawyer. Oh man, did you see that? We have it on the video archives. He got chomped up in Jurassic Park 1. And then everyone's just sandbagging this one dude.
Even before with like, so people died, but
dinosaurs. It's totally worth it.
God, they kept using the theme
too much.
Yeah, we said that before. The Jurassic Park
thing. Four times.
They used
times, but they
different
used it
versions
because they used the main theme once at the beginning,
and they never used the Triumph theme. They used
but
not
no, they used that once when the helicopter was setting down.
Really?
I didn't catch it.
You mean early on when the billionaire
I'm like
comes
90% sure that was in there.
You might be right.
All right,
but only once. I know
they used it too much.
They used the other one too much. Then
you need to use it the once, maybe the second time.
I think it's good for a few, but and I didn't feel like it was a problem that they.
And I was wondering how they're gonna have like that sort of once the dust is settling moment and like the unexpected allies are looking at each other.
Yeah.
I was like, this could be really corny.
Yeah.
I was like, no, they did a good job.
It was really close there.
A little head nod, and you're like,
kind of.
I wish they would have hugged or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just bring it in.
High five. Yeah.
There was a lot of moments where me and Willie specifically would go, why do I want raptors wearing little outfits? And like when the kids are trying to hide and they're like in a little van with a little like door that you can open. And we said, it just seems like this movie, like you said, unexpected dinosaurs from nowhere.
So they get in the back of the van and it's like, okay, just slide the glass open when you want to talk to me. And it's like, and before she gets in there, it's like they slide it open and there's a little dinosaur in a hat raptor and just like, You know, and at one point
they're driving away, and a raptor just jumps into the Jeep, and then
it jumps into the driver's seat, and I'm just like, "You're okay, get in." Yeah.
The raptor's like, "Take me to KFC."
All right, Jurassic World.
Yeah. Man, this park is crazy. There are all these like kind of moments where like I expect somehow because there's so many times where a dinosaur sticks his head into a thing, or someone's standing behind something and a snout comes around almost too much.
They did the snout
That's
reference too many
movies,
times,
though, like,
but they did it
there was
4
like
times.
4 times in this one.
They did 4 like ooh.
But I think it was like also that many times like all the other movies as well.
Yeah, but this is a build-up now. Now
Sure,
we're running
sure.
on the
Yeah.
17th.
And not enough of those times.
Granted, it has
remixes.
been like a ton of years
It
since
has
the
been a
third
ton
one.
of years.
Like two of them were hard remixes.
What was the space and time between 2 and 3 again?
It was a while.
It was a while.
Like,
It was quite a few.
it was
One
a
and,
while.
1 and 2 were
5
close
years.
together.
Yeah.
3 was closer to 2 than this is to 3.
Yeah, because this is like
They've been getting
almost a
farther
decade.
apart every time.
Almost a decade.
Yeah.
I
not more than a decade.
I feel like it would. I feel like 3 was in the 2000s.
Shit.
We're going to have to get a bunch of
I thought it was
raptors
older
tapping
than
on
that.
computers to get to the bottom of
Yeah,
this.
definitely.
Dude, 3 came out like 2 years after Dino Crisis 2.
Oh fuck.
3 came out in 2001.
Yeah.
And
I-
so obvious.
I
too.
stack this as just below part 1. I think this is the second.
I think
best
it's the
movie.
second best movie.
I think so too.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I liked it overall better than 2 and definitely 3, but I mean 2 is only even good because of
San Diego scene and
not the San Diego scene
because
of Dr. Malcolm. Actually,
Sure,
it's just it's-
Oro.
Yeah.
Oro, yeah.
No, I totally agree
Because
with
he
you.
is Chris Pratt. If Chris Pratt wasn't in this, and let's say they got, I don't know, the fuck that was in Tron Legacy, some nobody,
Yeah.
it'd be like, holy shit, there's no charisma
No,
here.
his personal magnetism carries parts of this movie that would be dull.
Yeah, that would be dull. If he didn't have his comedic timing,
But you
which he
all-
didn't use too much. I'm glad he wasn't super jokey.
Yeah,
He
He
wasn't
wasn't
completely typecast.
Which
No.
leads me to say that like you go in with a Pratt bias.
Yeah.
You go in
Yeah.
already liking him.
Wooly,
Yeah.
Chris
Yeah.
Pratt is now Hollywood's relatable super hunk.
Right.
It's true. It's true. Not us.
Because he
relatable.
used to be chubby,
he's
but
a-
we saw him. Like,
Chris
buff
Pratt
up.
is like the unholy combination of like Tom Hanks's friendly charm
And Harrison
Ford's
Ford's
dashing
gruffness.
good looks
Yeah,
and grumpy
yeah,
scruffy.
yeah. So it's the cool bro, but he keeps you at half chub the whole time. That's what they got. That's what they
So
got.
yeah, everyone wanted to know what we thought about it.
Yeah, it's a
and
pretty good movie.
That's what we
pretty
think
much,
about it.
I would
pretty
give
much
it-
liked it.
I would give you should go see it. That's my
Yeah.
recommendation. I don't know.
I think
give it a thumbs up.
I give it 2 raptor claws up.
How many claws are
InGen must be eliminated.
Oh god.
I will have control of Jurassic Park. As we speak, my men are on their way.
I think Willie's gonna be taking out his JP action figures.
Dun 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 dun. Dun. Yo, you coming or what, man? We're getting ready to go.
What?
Are you coming? Like, what's up?
I'm just thinking about the future. Like,
Oh.
did that week go well?
No, Jurassic Week was fine, man. I think everyone loved it. It was a fun time. We're gonna go get some food, man. Come on.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.